Now I want to speak about how a empath can navigate a system and be successful, right? Not be so uptight or miserable because they see too much and are not and not to allow themselves to become targets. How to work in the system while still being true to yourself. So let's get into this. Now, for most people, success in a system means climbing the ladder. But for an empath, success means influence without inner corrosion. It's not about titles for the empath, it's about reach. It's not about being liked, but about being trusted. The empath power isn't loud, it's relational. They build bridges where others burn them. They earn loyalty instead of demanding it. They create psychological safety in environments that breed fear. And that, over time, makes them indispensable. Your success will not always look like recognition. Sometimes it looks like quiet respect in rooms that used to silence you. Now, an empath will fail when they lead with emotion before strategy. You can't heal what you don't understand. Every system has unspoken rules, they have a culture. Who really makes decisions? How communication flows? What values are rewarded and which are just slogans? Before you try to change it, study it like a map because I didn't do that. Ask who benefits, asking yourself, who benefits from this structure, from this culture operating the way that it does, right? What language get results here? Is it logic? Is it presenting evidence? Is it just loyal, favor, or is it it's compassion? So you want to know, where does resistance come from? Is it from fear, ego, or ignorance? The empath's intuition is their compass, but strategy is their armor. You must understand the battlefield before you walk in the healing intention, right? Before you even attempt to change or heal anyone and be their sounding board or get into the gossip complaining about your supervisor, hear this. Empathy doesn't mean blind trust. To survive and thrive, you have to develop empathetic intelligence, the ability to care consciously, not carelessly. When you run your mouth, you have all of these outbursts. That is you not using your emotional intelligence, right? You're being careless, right? So don't assume everyone feels as deeply as you. If you recognize you're that empath, 9 times out of 10, nobody else don't feel the way you do. So you have to learn not to even whisper under your breath. Don't expect emotional reciprocity in transactional environments. Instead, give compassion with discernment. Offer understanding, but not in unlimited access. You can hear what someone is trying to do, right? And you can understand that, but don't judge it. You may see something else, but don't judge it. Everything is not ours to address. Think of your empathy as currency, a currency of energy. It has to be invested wisely. In systems, boundaries aren't selfish, they're survival. What do I mean by that? You don't need everyone with your personal Instagram, email, Twitter. You don't require that. Not at your place of employment. They don't need to be calling you as soon as you leave and texting you about the supervisor, texting you about who's talking about who or what just happened to someone. Stay out of it, because once it shows up on your feed, you are now part of it. And your goal is survival. So when people sense an empath has open energy, they test it, consciously or not. So to succeed, you need to decide what you give and to whom and how often. Ask yourself before every interaction, is this my responsibility or are they projecting something on me? Is this something that I'm really supposed to do, or they're insinuating that I am to do it? Am I helping, or am I being used as a buffer? Is someone trying to get me to go to someone and ask them a question? Am I being a buffer or am I being used? Am I operating from love or from guilt? See, once you become part of the group and you don't reciprocate, they'll try to make you feel guilty. And when you don't reciprocate, they will go silent on you. Boundaries don't block your light, they focus it. That's the goal, to focus your light. The empath's challenge is translation. To express truth in a dialect the system respects. Instead of saying, this feels wrong, learn to say, this approach increases risk. Instead of, we're hurting morale, you can say, this policy reduces engagement. Speak the system's language until it listens long enough to hear your heart. That's not manipulation. That's adaptation with integrity. That's getting knowledge. That's getting education to know how to properly word what you're trying to come across and say in a professional and conversational tone. See, the world won't always honor emotional language, but it will respond to strategic articulation. Empaths often try to save everyone, but real success comes from coalition, not martyrdom. You don't sacrifice your individual self because you're speaking up for everyone. You just took it on because you have the loudest mouth. And when it goes down, everyone backs off and you realize you're standing alone. Stand back. Find others who share your values quietly. The analysts, the mentors, the truth tellers behind the curtain. Every system has light hidden within it. You don't need everyone's agreement. You just need a few aligned souls in key positions. That's how real change happens. Small alliances of integrity working in silence until truth becomes too visible to ignore. Success inside a system requires stamina, spiritual, emotional, and physical stamina. Empaths can't lead if they're constantly depleted. So you need to create rituals of restoration. Silence after meetings, nature or music after you felt tension, journaling, not being on a phone on your trip home, listening to video or a movie or something that relaxes you, right? Rest your mind. Don't let the system consume your nervous system. Once you leave, you're an empath, let it go. You're not a machine. You're the heart inside of a machine. Strategic empathy means using your insight to understand motives, not just feel emotions. When someone resists you, don't take it personally. Analyze it. Is it fear of loss, fear of power, fear of change, or fear of exposure? By reading energy patterns without absorbing them, you gain influence. People trust those who make them feel seen without feeling threatened. That's the empath's silent power. They can lead without domination. Be quiet, speak less, scan the room, pay attention. In most systems, leadership is positional. For an empath, it's energetic. You shift rooms simply by being centered, calm, and consistent. When others are reactive, you stay grounded. When others compete, you calibrate. When others lie, you just listen. You don't have to point it out. Your presence becomes a form of quiet authority, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself. People gravitate toward empaths who manage pressure without losing grace. That success the system can't manufacture and can't function without. Empathetic success isn't about escaping institutions, it's about evolving them. Change doesn't come from shouting at walls, it comes from becoming part of the structure and then shifting its tone from the inside. So you don't have to dismantle the system overnight, you just have to insert humanity into the process. One meeting, one decision, one act of courage at a time. Empaths who master both compassion and competence end up holding quiet influence in the places that once tried to silence them. Irregardless of what happened yesterday, if you begin to make the changes tomorrow, things will change for you. They don't fight for a seat at the table, they become the conscience of it. Success for an empath isn't selling their soul to fit the system, it's refining their spirit so the system starts to fit them. You don't need to be louder. You just need to stay aligned, right? And that's all I have for you. Welcome for visiting my channel. Stay covered, stay conscious, stay undefeated, and I will see you on the next one.